Morning, everybody. In this week's parsha, the Torah talks about the obligation that we have when we see someone else's property, whether it's an ox, an animal, or it's something that they lost, money, and so on and so forth. We have an obligation to return it. You can't just say, okay, listen, I'm not interested, I'm not going to waste my time, let someone else do it or let them figure it out. We have an obligation to take it and to return it and to make sure that it goes back to its original, its rightful owner. So there's a story with one of the great rabbis. His name was Rabbi Akiva Eger. He one time came to a certain city, and over there he had a relative. So he searched to find his relative. Finally, when he found his relative, he sat with his relative for a very, very long time. Now, this relative of his was not a great rabbi like he was. He wasn't somebody that you could have a deep conversation with, but rather this man was a simpleton. So his students later asked him, what did the rabbi already speak with this guy for so many hours? What were you spending time? So he says that in a sense, this is the biggest way for me to respect the Torah. Why? Because it says in the Torah that you should return. When someone loses something, you should return it. And also it says, B'sarcha al tisalam. Don't look away from your own flesh. He says, I have a relative of mine here that I can inspire him and talk to him and give him, some comfort and some insight. So this is something that in a sense, A, I'm helping him out, and B, I'm returning to him his lost soul. We have an obligation to do Torah mitzvahs. When we don't do Torah mitzvahs, we're wasting our time. One of the most precious things that cannot be returned to us is time. When a person learns and davens, so now they're keeping their time. But what about the time that they lost? So just like we have to try to return things to each other, so to Hashem can give us also that opportunity to return something that we lost. That what happens? If somebody starts utilizing and using their time properly, so then Hashem is going to return them the time that they lost. How is that even possible? How can you return someone time that they lost? You can't make it up. So there's something called hatzlacha bizman. There's something called success in time. You can sometimes do something and it takes hours to accomplish something. And sometimes you could do something and in a couple of minutes, you had the right connections or whatever you had to do. You were looking, searching for something and you found it. So that's called hatzlacha, success in time. So this is something that Hashem rewards people that are involved and keeping themselves busy with good things, that they should have hatzlacha bizman. That's a way how Hashem returns also to us a lost object. So if we keep that in mind, when you see the hatzlacha bizman, you should know where it's coming from. Have a great day.